Bobby. Okay, my definition here. Animal name. I have a dog named Bobby. Are you still with me? Can you confirm you're still with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. So you understand the difference between these two arguments
That's right.
with the default
One,
arguments too?
yeah, keyword is flexible.
Yes. Default is for one or two arguments that you can easily track and know their positions when you're calling them. But
Mhm.
in case you don't want to bother about their position, you just go with the keyword arguments.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing I think we'll go through this class is the args and quags argument. Um, you know what? Let's leave this to when we learn about lists and dictionaries. We'll come back to it because this will require us to go back to lists and dictionaries. So since we are learning lists and dictionary today, when we are done, we'll just ship in this before we close. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is better than we can do it now, but I just think it's better off if it comes after we've learned about the list and dictionary. But basically, when we are calling functions here, we just use variables, strings, data type, strings. So
Mhm.
that's we use these are numbers, five, three, with add numbers. These are um, using the functions with strings. But with these args and quags, right, you're basically putting a list or a tuple, basically a sequential data type here. Then this is a dictionary. So I think it's better we've learned about list and dictionary, then we can come back to seeing how quags work when using
Are
it in a
you,
function.
are you going to remember?
Yeah, I should. I should.
Okay.
Let me take it down. So let me come back to it. So kind of, okay. All right. So the next thing we'll be looking at is the lambda function. Lambda function. So the lambda function is basically a small anonymous function, right? The idea behind the lambda function is it's just a function you can use just once, right? So this function now that we've created here, let's see this function that we've created. This add function, right? I can use it for multiple addition for multiple numbers. So I can just call add. I can just come here and say, hold on. I can just come here and say, where is it? So I can just come here and let me clean this. I have some 8, right? I can decide to just change this to 7. I'll have 10. Change this to 12. I'm having 19, right? So these functions, I can use this same function. I can call this same function and use it multiple times in my line of code. The difference between this and the lambda function is the lambda function is just a function I just use just once. I don't want to use it for any other thing. I just want to define it once and then that's it. And I can also decide to, this function you gave it a name. This one you gave it a name called greet. This one you gave it a name. We gave it a name called what is it? We gave it a name called add, right? The lambda function you can decide not to give it a name. Just a function that is just doing one thing for you, and you just move on
Okay.
with it. Like this one, we gave it a name here, but it's not compulsory. Like you can do without giving it a name, and you still get what you want.
Okay.
All right. So let's do something now. I think I should have written this before. And arguments and expressions. So this is how you define a lambda function. You put lambda, you put the arguments, then you put the expressions, right? For example, now what we are going to do now is we are going to take this code, this add function. We are going to turn it into a lambda function. So look at this version.
Yeah.
Look at this. Yes, I'm hearing you.
I'm with you. Keep going.
All right. So look at this version of the code, how we normally define function, right? Then look at
Mhm.
this version now. Now, remember I said to define a lambda function, you write lambda first,
Yeah.
then you write the arguments. Remember the arguments. The arguments are these ones inside this function. Remember that when we're defining our normal function, right? This is our
Mm-hmm.
function name. These are the arguments,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the same thing with lambda. You just put lambda instead of df. You just put lambda.
Okay.
Then you put the argument. The arguments are a and b, right?
Mhm.
Then you put the expression. Basically, what do you want these arguments to do? What I want to do is just to add to be added, just like this now. So I said lambda, the arguments, then the expressions. So the expression is just to do a plus b. And I can now come here and call the function just like this and say add 3 and 4. So if I run this will give me 8, this will give me 7. Total 8, then this is giving me 7. Like I said, we can decide not to name it, just remove the name and just come here and say print, print, you get, and we'll still get the same thing. Oh no, no, hold on. It's supposed to work. Why is it not working?
You didn't, you didn't print add because you equate it. You store it in add container.
Oh, I saw it a variable. Yes, I saw it a variable.
But then you are calling again. You are calling the other. So you will always be getting 7 here because you
Yes.
are calling the function add. So change the variable to maybe add one, and then just say print add one.
Actually, let's try this again. It should have something is wrong, right? Remember, I said you can decide to name a lambda function, right, or decide not to name it at all. In this case, we named this function add. So I'm trying to get us to use this lambda function without naming it add. Just use it as a straightforward function. So this is the first one. This is a named. That's what I was trying to do. This is a named lambda function. Then this one will now be an unnamed lambda function. Which I want to do now. So I'll still take this, but I don't want to name it add. I just want to print it out like that. But remember that when I do this like this, if I just print this out, let me show you something. If I just print this out, the first one will say 7. The name lambda function will say 7, but this will just reference the function. Why? Because I'm defining this function, but I've not called the function. I don't know if that makes sense.
But you say it should be printed. So
Yes.
do you need to call lambda function before
Lambda
you
function
operate?
usually, yes, because all functions are called. If I just define a function like this, it's just defined, right? But
Mhm.
I have to call this function to be able to use this function. Otherwise, it's just there. So this is me calling this lambda function, right? But mostly lambda functions just work straight like this, in the sense that I don't have to start giving it a name called add. I can just come here.
Okay.
Since I've defined the function, I will not call it again with another bracket. So what do I want to call it? What's the first variable? Yeah, 3. Second one is 4. Then put a bracket. Then another bracket here to print. So basically, this is the lambda function. Basically, this is it.
Mhm.
The function, then me calling the function. This is the function that I defined. Then this is me calling the function that I defined. So I'm just taking all this and then printing it out. Let's see what we get now. See? 7, 7. So this is the first method
Wait.
where you name the lambda function. The second method where you don't name the lambda function. So we have three ways of defining the function. This is the traditional way of naming the function, right? This is the
Okay.
normal way, traditional way of naming the function. So this function you can use it multiple times across your code.
Because it's named, right?
Yes. No,
You can't call the one that is not named. You can't call it many times. You can only call the one that is named, right?
for this one, yes, obviously. Because if I'm trying to call this again another place, I have to start calling the entire function.
Mhm.
I have to define, for example, now if I want to call this thing again now, I have to now call print everything here, come here again. So I would still define this same function and now change the number to 5. See? Which is but this I don't have to start calling this, I don't have to start defining this function again. All I have to do is just to say add. That's the difference. I don't know if I explained.
Basically, for name function, you can only call it once in your code.
Yes.
But name function, you can call as many times as you want, anytime in your code. Correct?
I think that's the last part.
A named function can be called anywhere, anytime along the code after it has been defined. But unnamed function can only be used once. So on name function is you use the keyword lambda, you provide your argument,
Yes.
and then you provide the operate, I mean, what operation it needs to do, and then you call the function within the same line of code, unlike the traditional function. So basically, lambda function is a one-line function, more or less, when it's not named, right?
Yes. But let me just chip in something now.
So, but I see that you printed it twice,
Which of them?
like that one. So you can call it one and once too, then the
This one?
unnamed one. Yeah, the unnamed. You have
Yes,
to
but
call
if
it.
yeah, but if you notice something now, right? See what I basically what I did here was when I called it twice, I changed the parameters here, right? But I still
Mhm,
have to start defining this function again. And that has defeated the entire purpose of a function.
mhm,
The reason for a function is that once I define the function once, I don't have to define it again. All I have to do is to be calling that function.
mhm,
But with this lambda function, if I want to call it again, I have to start defining the function all over again.
mhm.
I think that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Now, what is the difference now between this type of function and the traditional way of defining function, right? Now, one of the major difference is that with this kind of function, I can do multiple. I can have multiple expressions. What do I mean by that? Remember, let me see if we've done something like that here. Oh, we haven't. So let's say I don't like a long code now. Uh, that would be a different. To give me a different code. Okay, let's do calculator. Calculator function a and b, right? Then I will come here. This calculator. This should be too much. I'll come here and say add is equals to a plus b, subtract is equals to a minus b, multiply. I'm just trying to give just a small code. A a times b, right? Then I'll say print, or let's just return for now. And I'll say return add, subtract, multiply.
Just copy what you wrote.
Good. Let's. So if I come here now and do this now, right? What it's going to do is add these two numbers, subtract this, and then multiply this. Let's print it out. Oh, sorry, I have to print this because I use the return statement. Remember, when you use return statement, you have to print it out. Unless I use print directly inside the function, then I don't have to print out. But since I use the return statement, I have to print it out. Like I said, it all it's doing is just returning it for you. Right? If you want to see what it's returning, you have to print it out. Remember when I explained that? All the return statement does is just hold it for you. Right? So
Mhm.
if you want it to give it to you, you have to print it out. So
Mhm.
this is just holding the values for you. So let me print it out. You see, I get 8, 12, 15. 8, 12, 15. Now this is multiple line expression. You see what I did here now, right? I can't do it with lambda functions.
You can't do multiple things. It's only one
Yes,
operation
one
you
thing
can.
exactly. So either I create one function to add or to subtract. So it just does one thing and does it well. That is just what it does. Finish. That is basically the function of the lambda function. So it just does one thing. So basically, if I want to, let's say I'm writing a code now, and I just have a function that I know that I will just use just once, and I will use it again, and it's just a simple expression. I just use lambda function. And I don't know if you've heard about maps in
Uh,
Python.
yeah,
Maps.
yeah, here, but I don't know it.
Oh, okay, okay. So if you've used maps, filter, sorted, those functions, that is where they are usually. That is where this lambda is usually used.
Mm.
Yes, when you're working with maps, I think we should have maps now. Shouldn't we? There's no maps here.
Yeah,
Let me see.
I did somewhere.
I can't wait for OOP.
I think maps, it should be somewhere. Did you control it?
It's not here. Hmm.
I mean, I use
Okay.
ChatGPT to do this.
You know why it won't give it to you because I'm sure you told it is for back end, right? ChatGPT.
I think so.
That's why. So maps you mostly use them when you're working with data science. So I
Okay.
guess that even these sets, I don't even think we need like serious sets. I don't think we need it that much.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So you mostly use it when you're working with data science. That is why I'm sure it didn't really bother about the
Maps.
maps. Yes, I'm sure of that. That's why you need mostly data science. So that is the lambda function for what it does. I hope it's clear so we can move on.
Yeah, it is.
So if you look at this, remember I said this you define a lambda function this way. Let's move on this. The arguments and then the expressions, right? Look at another example. You have the argument which is x and then the expressions which is x times x because I want to get the square, right? The arguments, lambda, argument, expressions, lambda, arguments, expressions. That is how it just one expression, not multiple expression.
Expression.
Just one. You don't have multiple expressions. So just have the arguments, then the expression.
Can you
Yes, yes.
can you quickly give me a classwork like let me write some lambda function?
Okay. I think we can do that. But let's try something. I'm feeling I know it's too well, but let me just show you that. So remember I said that you can only do one expression with lambda function, right?
Mm.
Remember when we did okay, let's do this again. So look at this. Look at this now. We did so add, subtract, multiply, A and B. If I come here now, if I come here now, where is that place? And try to say A plus B, the first one. Now do comma,
Can I do that?
A minus B,
So it's
comma.
not allowing.
See, exactly. That's what I want to note for you. So you can
Oh,
only do one thing,
one one thing.
one thing. So that
Okay.
is that is that's the shortcoming, but it has its own advantages, right? Unlike this, where you can do multiple things, you just do one thing with this lambda function. I just wanted to point that out. I know I explained it, but I didn't show you. Just to show you.
I mean, another good thing is the fact that you can easily store the function inside a variable and then use the variable across
Exactly.
your
So let's see. Let's give you a. Okay, say I should leave this. Have I shared this document with you?
Oh yeah, you didn't share the last one.
Okay, but you said I should leave this, right? We should not, because this was our what we are working on before we started the class.
You say you come back to. I can't remember.
No, I think we are done with it, but you said I should not delete it. I should just leave it
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that you
yeah,
can.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that at least I can see.
Yes.
I wanted
Yeah.
to be keeping the notes week by week so that it's easy for me to review when I'm doing revision.
Okay. I think I should just let me see if I can just get it for you. Will this work? Let's see. I doubt it works. Uh huh. Let's see this. Class 3. Oh, we're still working on something. I think I should hold on till after the class. I'll still send it again. Since we're still working on something. Okay, for your assessment, let's do this. Uh, the first one, let's write a function, because that's a simple that adds 10 to a no, that's going to multiply, that finds the cube root of a number. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
So just write a lambda function that finds the. Let me send it to you.
Trying to remember the formula. So what's the formula for
Oh,
writing cube root? It's x, right? The cube root of 8 is 2 because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So what's the formula? So basically, you're looking for three things that you can multiply to give you that number. I don't know the math. You know, yeah. Why don't we just do the one that this research? I haven't done this thing. Cube root. Well, divide the number by 3. If it gives you even number, then it's possible. If not, it's not every number that you can get the cube root correct. I can't remember.
You can get cube for um you can actually get the cube root for all numbers, but some will give you decimals.
Mhm. Yeah, so basically, dividing this by 3 looks like that to me.
So this is how to get the cube of a number. These are the cube root of the number.
Yeah. So you raise to power, is
One
raised
over
to power
three.
3.
Yes, to find the cube. To find the cube roots, it's raised to power 1/3.
Okay. Okay.
So I think let's just find the let's find the cube. Let me move it. Let's find the cube. So lambda, the argument, and then the expression. Are you on it? Are you still working on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to create a file to do it. Yeah. What's the normal? Go to the side. Q.5. Zip. Right? If I don't file, doesn't look like great text function. Oh, it was never named or saved. Yeah, I think that something is alright with my save. Yeah. Okay, this is not working. Okay, let me just write it somewhere. Give me a sec. So let's just five, five, five. You know what? Just give me a sec. It's not working. Classwork. Oh, second part. That's five. Okay, is this working? Oh. So, so you're saying let's do the cube equals lambda. We want to do two numbers, right? Of a number, right? A,
Yes.
and then cube root will be A plus 3. And then I can say print Q, Q, and then define the argument. Now, or if I want to do on name number function, that will be that will be lambda, lambda, um, B, B star 3. And then I still need to print it, right? If I run 729, what did I do? The first one, this one, where's the one? Or is only the first one now? Because instead of B, I have to do 3 times 39. Sorry, I'm not getting something right. Okay, let me send you what I have.
No,
I
let's
obviously made a
let's see your
mistake.
screen.
Yeah.
I've stopped sharing so you can share it.
Oh, okay. So, can you see now? Right. You can see, right? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Okay. So hmm. Okay, you did for the named and then the unnamed.
Yeah, but it seems I'm not getting this on them right. You see the
Okay.
output?
Yes. So for the unnamed, what you're doing is just defining the function. You've not defined the function yet. Define the function first.
So, wait. So, I thought this is the function.
No.
I have B as a
As
parameter.
argument, right? Then you
Yeah, and
now
this is
then
the
you put the
expression.
expression. Exactly. Put the expression. So
Is-
B should be
I
here.
did I did
Not comma.
that.
Exactly.
So at what point? How do oh, now calling it. No,
Exactly. Put the bracket.
now calling. Is it bracket?
Bracket.
Now calling
Yes.
it. Say
Call it.
9.
Exactly.
Oh,
Then cover this. Put the function in bracket too.
which one? Lambda?
Yes.
This one in the
No, no,
bracket.
no, 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 no. The function itself, the entire lambda function should be in brackets.
Oh, I won't for print it, right?
Yes.
Like that.
Then no, we are not done. The lambda function itself, the function you defined itself, should be in the bracket
Like that.
after the trig.
Oh,
So the
like that.
function in bracket, yes, the function in bracket, you call the function in bracket. Then you now print everything now. So you now print the function and your calling of the function. Everything now in the
Okay.
print statement.
You see.
Yeah. Let's see how that goes. So put everything in the print function. Let's see.
Oh,
It works now, right?
yeah. So I think this is where I get confused. Thank God I tried to do it. So correct format is um unnamed. So it's gonna be lambda argument A, AB, and then A plus B is the expression. Then you will now call it. Because we'll do that and then call the function and then say 9, 2. And you can now print it if you want. And if you just want to use it in a variable, you can do that too.
Yeah.
Okay. You must wrap the function itself so in bracket and then call the function. Okay. I get you. Nice, Clara.
Okay.
Let me stop share.
Yes. All right. So the last part of this is, I think we've done this, scope and lifetime of variables. Right. So what does this mean? In Python, we have two scopes. There is the global scope, there's the local scope, right? Any variable found outside a function is a global variable. Variables inside a function is a local variable. Now, why do we need this distinction, or why is this distinction important to understand? A global variable can be used anywhere, but a local variable cannot be used outside the function.
Wait, let's say that again.
A
So,
local, a global variable can be used anywhere, even inside the function. But a local variable cannot be used outside the function. For example, now we have this function, we have this variable x equals to 10, right? Since it's defined outside the function, it's a global variable. Now we create a function, definition, testing, just to test. Then we now create a variable inside a function. This variable is automatically a local variable, right? Now see, now we are doing print inside, we say s plus y. So we want to print s plus y. Remember that this function
I'll
is
use X.
outside,
Mhm,
it's outside the variable, right?
mhm,
But when we print
mhm.
s plus y, when we call this function, when we call this function test, see what happens. It works. We get
Okay.
15 inside. So it takes this and add to this, we get 15. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now let's do something now. It's already giving me an error. So if you check now, I want to print out x, right? I can
Mhm,
just do normal print x, print
mhm,
outside x. But if you notice,
mhm.
I can't print y.
Because you don't have access to Y.
Exactly, because it's inside the variable. So functions inside the variable cannot be used anywhere outside of this variable. So you have to only use them inside this variable. That is clear.
Mhm.
I can, I can continue, right?
Yes.
Good. So functions inside a variable cannot be used. Sorry, variable inside a function cannot be used anywhere outside of that function. But variables outside a function can be used anywhere in your code. So that is basically it for this. Can we go to the next one? Or we should still.
Yes.
All right, all right.
We're good. We're good.
Good. So the last one, error handling with try and accept. You have some idea of this, right? Error
Forget.
handling. Huh?
I forget.
Okay, okay. So most times when we want to do, hold on, let me try this. This should work. Should work. So look at this code. Before I do, so I just want to show you how this code works. So look at this code. Let me show you the difference before we use it. So, okay, look at this code now, right? We have
Mhm.
number, we say enter a number, right? Then when you enter a number, we now square the number for you. That's
Mhm.
basically what this code is doing. You give it the number, it squares the number. So if we
Mhm.
run this code and I say 2, it gives me
Mhm.
4,
Oh.
right?
Mhm.
If I say 5, it gives me
24.
25. But what if I say A?
You use 64.
Like A, the
Mm. It should
alphabet.
tell, yeah, it should tell you not a number. Oh,
It just
this,
throws this. So
yeah,
it gives me this generic Python
value error.
error. Yeah. But if you check it, you see value error, right? So
Value is literal range.
this is a generic error from Python, but it
Mm.
looks messy.
Mhm.
But if you're building a real application, you don't want something like this to be for your user to have to see something like this. You want him to see a readable error, right? For example, if the user enters the wrong password, you want to tell them that no, your password is invalid and a readable error that they can understand. You
Okay.
can understand this technical detail that it's a value error, right? But someone that's not technical will not understand this. So that is where this try and accept block comes in play for error
Mm.
handling, right? So let's just run this code, see how it works. So first we use 5, we'll get 55, right? Now
Mhm.
if I decide to put A or B, see what I get. That was not a valid number. So I don't get that generic Python error.
Okay.
So you see the beauty of try and accept.
So try, you put your code,
So
accept, value
yes,
error.
it's basically
So,
English.
so can you, now in this case, you have only specified value error. What of if it gives you any kind of error that you
Error.
don't know what it's going to be? So how do you
Exactly.
handle that?
That's a very good question. So there are two ways to handle it, right? Either you try to come again and say except put in all the type of errors that you know, right? And then start writing, just putting all the errors that you might encounter over and over again. So that is one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is pass. Then you come again and put except file not found error blah blah blah. Just right. Or you can just come here and say remove this and just put try except. So what this does, any kind of error, it caches it and prints this out. I don't know if you get what I said.
No.
Huh? So you see, it still works.
Okay. So this, it doesn't matter what the error is.
Yes,
You just say,
that was what
you
about
don't, yeah, because the first one that we define is very clear. This is a value error.
value error.
If it's not value error, it won't even, it would display the normal way it would display
Exactly,
error.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do that. Let's work. Let's try to put your question into practice. So if you divide the number by zero, you get an error, right? If you say 5 divided by zero, you cannot divide by zero. So you can't divide the number by
Mhm.
zero, right? Good. So let's start to
Mhm.
play around that kind of error. So instead of doing this, we just put division here. So the number divided by okay. You know what? Let's enter two numbers. Let's do it twice. Enter first number, enter second number, right? Then you want to divide. You want to divide. This is num one, num two. Divide num one divided by num two. So let's put value error first.
Yeah.
You get.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what it says. Let's see what it says. So first first number I put 50. Second number I put 10.
Zero.
10. I will get 5,
Mm-hmm.
right?
No
Division
error.
5.0.
Yeah.
Good. Now, second, I try to. Now, I want to get value error now. I will put first number, I put
50.
50.
Mm-hmm.
Second number, I put T or T
Okay.
a later.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
should give me, it should be a value error, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So that was the valid number. See,
Okay.
value error, forgot the
Mm-hmm.
value error. Now let's
Mm-hmm.
try doing a zero division error
Yeah.
by saying 50, second number put zero.
That's cool.
See?
Yeah.
See?
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's what I
zero
wanted
division
to see.
exactly.
Yeah. Because
That
you've specified only value errors in
value
the
error
cache.
exactly. So I can come here now and say except
Zero division error.
then I'll now print I say cannot
Divide by
divide
zero.
by zero. Exactly. So if I try to do this now, clear
I mean, this
this.
is nice so that people can know specific problem. But the first one
Yes.
is just going to give you generic, whatever the error is, it will just telling you
Just
that's not a
one
valid,
exactly.
that's not a
So
valid operation, for example, not a valid
yes.
operation. People will not understand what a valid operation means.
What's the problem? Yeah. So this will give me value error. If I try doing this again now with zero, see, cannot divide by zero. So I have two errors, two
Mhm.
messages.
Mhm.
This was not a valid number. So the person knows that oh, because I divided by zero, that's why it's not working. But if you just print out this while I put so the person will be confused, but I put valid numbers. So why are you telling me it's not a valid number? Right? So I was saying another way of doing this is just instead of defining all these errors over and over and over again, you can just put except then put the generic message there.
Mm.
So in
That
this
catches
case,
everything.
yes, in this case, if I come here and say 50, I come and say zero, it
You say
just
this
says
is not a
just put
valid
the
number.
valid number. That's it. So
Then
basically,
you will now be scratching your head trying to
uh,
figure out where.
exactly. So basically, this is how the try and accept works. Nothing is complex in this. Just when
Yeah.
you're writing a code that you know that you might run into errors, right? If the user
Mm.
does not, in fact, you will need this a lot in
Mm.
web development.
Mhm.
Yeah, we use this a lot. Like we use this a lot because yeah, users are unpredictable.
Mhm.
You don't know what they'll put in, so we use this a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember
Or
what we used to do?
you can even use it to catch to define the error and say if the error is value error, then present this to them.
Yes, you
Can
can
you
use
use that in
it.
your if statement?
Why not?
You get what I'm trying to say now, right? Instead of me
Yes,
just telling you what the error is, I actually want to display to you another input straight. So if
it
value
works.
error.
It works actually. It works. You can. It's based on how I want to define it. It works. It works. So we can move on, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so we are done with that. So we are done with this. Going into lists. creation, indexing, slicing, and methods. User notes font. Okay, let me share this class. Let me share class 3 with you now, since you are done with class 3. So we'll go to class 4.
Nice. I'm gonna keep shooting. Take water. Go.
So I think I should delete this. We need to finish this today, at least list. So when you're done. Class 3. So I just shared the class 3 with you. Confirm you can see it. Are you still with me?
Sorry, I didn't know that I was muted. I was talking. I was saying that the file that you shared with me said class three. And then when I
Yeah.
look at my folder, I already have week one, week two. So this will be week three, class three, which makes sense, right?
Yes. Week
Okay.
two. Week
Okay.
two last. Yes. Yeah. We altered all this.
I think, yeah, I just call it week three, class three.
Yeah.
I think we lost the order.
Yeah. We did badly. Not sharing this. So we are done with the class 3. This we are done with this. We're done
But
with
we,
functions.
but we didn't do something that you say when we get to list.
Ags and quags. Okay. Let me copy it to class. Let me copy. See it here. I'll just copy it. Then. That's 4. I'll keep it here. So we'll come to it. So now we won't forget it since it's here now.
Okay.
All right. So Python list. Python list won't take time. I'm positive of that. So it's one of the simplest things we can do. So lists. So basically, a list is a variable, right, that stores multiple items. Right. Look at a normal variable we have here. Let's say name. Right. You can only store one name in this variable, Abby. You can't store multiple names,
Yeah.
right? So our normal variable you can only store one name, but can't store multiple names, right? A
So
list, on the other hand, can store multiple items. See, you just convert it. You know what this is? This data type.
a string. Oh, wait. Which these are all string, right?
Yes.
So, but how did he print it? So he
Yeah.
now print
But
it as
it's
tuple. Tuple.
exactly what I want to point out, right? Normally, it should repeat it. It should repeat it. If I put type name, it should tell me tuple. Print the type. Exactly what I want to say. So it's a tuple, right?
So, it-
But
so
huh?
wait. So if I
Yeah,
call that, okay, so the type is now tuple. Okay. So that's the default.
that is it's that way because you try defining multiple items to
Mm.
one variable. So it just automatically converts it to a tuple. It won't give you back. It won't give you back a variable, a string. Because if I just do this now, like this, and do type, I'm going to get string,
Okay.
right?
I
But
haven't
because
seen
I
that.
was, huh?
I say I haven't noticed that before.
Yeah. But because I try to do multiple items, I get it converts it to, right. But with a list, I don't have
You
that
can
issue.
access them.
Yes. So I
But
can
you can
have more.
iterate over tuple too, right?
Yes, you can. The only difference is you can't edit a tuple. You can't modify it.
Yeah.
You can't modify it.
So basically, Python just assumed that when you have too many items listed in front of a variable, you forgot the bracket.
It will convert it to a tuple.
Mhm. The pool. I haven't noted that before.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So we can continue. We can go on, right?
Yeah, we can.
So how do we create a list? Right. So like I said, the reason for using a list to store multiple values in one place, to organize your data, to easily access and manipulate items, right? So how do we create a list? You create a list by putting them in square brackets separated by commas, right? For example, all these are lists. You have fruits, apple, banana, cherry, numbers, the name of the list. You have 10, 20, 30, 40. Mixed, basically mixing different data type. So you mix numbers, you mix string, you mix this is an integer, this is a floating point number, this is a boolean data type. So in a list, you can put multiple data types inside a list, right? And then there is the empty list. Is that understood?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then, how do you? Sorry, give me a moment. Let me log this. All right, I'm back. You're still here, right?
I'm there.
All right. So this is how we define a list, right? Now, creating, indexing, slicing. Yeah. So let's do this. Then we come here. Now, in Python, there's what we call indexing, right? Basically, indexing means accessing items in a list. You know, a list can have multiple items, right? Up to 10 items, right? You want to be able to access each of those items in that list easily,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in Python, the items in the list, when you are counting them, you don't start with, for example, let's look at this now. Let's just put mango, uh, then orange. So normally, if you're counting, you have five fruits here, right? One, two, three, four, five, right? Five fruits. But in Python, you don't count one, two, three, four, five. You start with zero, one, two, three, four. Is that understood?
Yes.
So when counting the items in the list, you start from zero upwards. Zero, one, two, three, four. So when I want to,
Yes.
if I want to access any item in that list, the first thing I do is call the list, which is fruit, put in a square bracket, then put the number where it is, right? So let's say I want to call the, I'm looking for the third item in the list,
Mm.
right? Now I know the third item can't be, I won't just say three because it starts from zero. Normally it's one, two, the third item is cherry, right? This is the third item. But I
Yeah.
won't just say three. I'm not counting one, two, three. I'm counting zero, one, two. So the third item is two.
Okay, so that's cherry.
Yes. So if I try to print this now, I'll get cherry. Cherry. That's clear, right? Is that understood?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. All right. So let's say, looking at this now, I want to get all the fruits from banana downwards. From banana downwards. By the way, before we go there, there's another thing we should look at too when indexing. Remember, I said when you're indexing from left to right, we are counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah?
That's correct.
Yes. Now, when you are counting, then sometimes you want to count from the very last, from right to left. This is counting from left to right. Sometimes you want to count from right to left.
Okay.
So when you're counting from left to right, you are starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're counting from right to left, you are starting with -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Negative, negative. Is that understood?
Yes.
So from left to right, you start with 0. From right to left, you start with -1. Then next is slicing.
Okay.
Slicing of this. Which is what I wanted to explain here. Okay. Okay, I think I just use this. So slicing of list basically means getting a part of a list. So look at this list now, right? Let me add more numbers. Let's add more numbers. So I have 1 to 100. Yeah. Now, if I want to get just numbers from 40 to let's say 80, right? I want to get a list of numbers from 40 to 80. For me to achieve that, I have to slice this numbers list,
Okay.
right? So I can come here now and say print numbers. Yeah. I say I want to get numbers from 40 to 80, right? What is the index of 40? Based on what you've explained, what's the index of
Three.
40? 3.
Three. Three.
Exactly. 3. Then I put a colon. What is the index of 80?
That will be seven, I think.
7, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. But if I put 7 here and I try to run this, what I will get is 40 to 70,
Seven.
not 80. Now, this is how it works now. When you're slicing a list, you come, you put the list, the name of the list name, the list name, right? The start value Start is the index to start, right? So when you print it out, it includes the start value. Now this end now, end is the index to stop, but it's exclusive. What does that
Okay.
mean? If I want to stop at 80, I don't put 7, I put 8. So
Okay.
it would exclude 90, even though 8 falls at 90. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but it would exclude this
90.
90. That is basically what this means. So the start value is inclusive, the end value is not inclusive. Why is this giving me an error? What is going
Mm.
on here? Okay, I've not, this is still, yeah. So you see, so if I try printing this out now, I'll get 40 to 80. See, 40 to 80. It's understood.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if I want to get all the values from 40 downwards to 100, what do I do?
40 downward to 100.
Yes.
So that would be 3 to 100. 3 to, or just say minus 1 to, minus, you can do with minus 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, yeah, you can just put column without ending.
Exactly. I can just move this and I just get this. Or I can put 10, but it's a waste of time. Just move this. It's understood. Exactly.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So we can move on, right?
Mhm.
So do you have any questions from
No.
indexing and slicing of list? I'll continue.
What about the negative part, the right to left?
Okay. So let's say we want to slice from this from 100 to 50, right? If I do minus 1, now this minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, right?
We'll
But
get to,
I won't put minus 6, I want to put minus 7 so that it will exclude this, but give me this. So let's do minus 7. What do I get? Let's see. An empty list. Oh, sorry. Minus 7. So minus 1.
what did you say?
40, 40 to
40 to
100.
90,
40
because
to
on
90.
is not inclusive.
It's not
So if you
inclusive.
now put, so how are you going to get 100 using this concept?
I will move this.
Okay.
I'll just remove that. 40 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing. If I want to get numbers from, let's say, 40 to 80, I can just say this minus 7, minus 8, no? Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 1, minus 2. So put minus 2 here. If I run this, I get 40 to 80. Can we continue?
Yeah.
All right. So the next is
Wait, before you
yes,
continue.
yeah,
What if I do column minus 1? What would that give me? I didn't have
colon.
start. Yeah, I don't have end. I just have end. Yeah. Okay, so you print everything
except the last value.
except the end value.
Yes.
Interesting.
Remember the end value is always exclusive. If you put it to be excluded in your sliced list.
Mhm. What if I do number mhm, and I just put column, no stop, no start? What will happen?
It prints out everything. These are the whole list. It prints out the whole list.
Okay.
So is that understood? We can go on, right?
Yes, let me.
Okay. All right. Built-in methods. We have several built-in methods for lists. When do you have to? I think you said your son used to have a practice this morning.
Yeah. Let's
Around
do
what
it
time?
till let's do till nine and then
Till
nine.
so
Oh, my
what's
time nine. So
yours is eight
that's
thirty now.
30.
Right?
Yeah, that's 30 minutes more also.
Okay, okay. We'll soon be done. I think. Let me see. We'll soon be done. We are done with. We are on list methods now, so we'll soon be done. We're on this now. So next is just to check tuples, which is not really a big deal. After tuples, what's next? List comprehension. All right. So methods, methods, list methods. So lists have several methods that are very, 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 very useful, right? So if I want to add an item to a list, I use this append method. How does it work? Let's get our fruits. Let's grab our fruits here. Let's grab this. Let's come here, paste. And if I want to add a new fruit to this fruits list, right? I come here and say fruits dot. Once you put dot in VS Code, it automatically gives you all the methods of a list: append, clear, copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse, sort. So these are all the methods in the list: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. They're not much, and you can easily know all of them. Like you can know all the methods in the list. You can know how to use all of them. It's not serious. Very easy. So fruits dot append. I want to add a new fruit. So what should we add?
A mango.
I think there's mango here already. There's mango here already. Let's just add
Carrot. Um,
carrots.
carrot may fruit like that.
It's a vegetable. Eh?
Mm-hmm. Do pear. Pear.
Okay. So once I do this now, right? I've appended it. If I now create, let's do something. Let's print the fruit before we appended and the fruit after we appended.
Mm-hmm.
Old fruits.
So just a
Let's
green chair.
old fruits list. Yes.
I'll take this chair. Okay.
Old
If you want.
fruits list.
Okay, go ahead. No, I'm saying if you want, stay here.
All right.
You don't have to sit. If you want to stand, it's fine.
So are we together?
And we do.
So look at the code I did here. Before I appended Pia to this list, I have
Mhm.
the old. I printed out the old fruits list first.
Mhm.
Then after I appended, I printed out the new fruits list. So this is the output. So the old fruits list is just apple, banana, orange, no pear. Then the new fruits list now has pear
Mhm.
because I just added it. So the append adds it to the end of the list. Very important thing to note. When you append, you just add it to the end of the list, right?
Okay.
Now the next
So
thing
is a
is
pen permanent? Like once you add something, it's not only in the state mode, it's permanently stored.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
All right. So the next is, I think we can leave this. We can leave this. Next is to insert. Now, I remember I told you the append just adds a new item to the end of the list, right?
Mhm.
What the insert does is it adds item anywhere inside the list. You just have to define where you want it to be. For
Okay.
example, let's take on with this, bring it here. We still have our list, but now I don't want to append. I want to insert, right? Now the first thing I need to do is, what's the index? Where do I want it to be? This is 0, this 1, this 2, this 3, this 4. Do I want it to be in 1 or 2? Let's say I want it to be here, 2, index 2, right? So I put 2, the index, comma, then the item I want to be in that index.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Mhm.
So let's run this code and see. So old fruit list, you have this. New fruit list, you see, 0, 1. Pear is now 2. No longer cherry again. Pear is now 2. That's clear, right?
Yeah.
All right. So append adds an item to the end of the list, while insert can add it anywhere in the list as long as you define
Specify the index.
the index exactly. Next is remove.
He's testing all the method. Testing all the method.
Mhm.
You should path anywhere inside the the, the list with button shift. Yeah, yeah. Double comma, no, writing. That's it.
Are we together?
And would you?
Remember,
All right.
remember.
So basically, how does remove work? Remove just removes an item from a list, right? So it
All
removes the
time.
first occurrence of an item in a list. For
Mhm.
example, look at our fruit list now. If I want to remove banana from that list, right, I just put fruits dot remove banana. Now, if I print this out now, the first list has banana, the second list does not have banana.
Now, if I have banana in position one
Uh-huh.
and I have banana in position four, right? Which
Yes.
one will it take the first occurrence or both?
The first occurrence.
Okay.
So let's see. Let me clear this. So we can
Oh wow. This is
Mhm.
oh, sorry, I didn't put it.
Come on.
So it's just the first one.
Okay.
Okay.
To specify which one you should remove,
Yes.
what do you do?
Just put dot remove then banana.
Yeah. Well, since this default to first, do you think does remove have two arguments or just one?
One. Just this.
So if you can't specify the index.
No.
Okay. This is only good for a list that have unique item,
A list that has unique items.
like username.
Oh yes. But you know there's a way to remove but we don't really need that for now. So sets can remove duplicates in a number
Okay.
in a list. So there's a way to remove all the duplicates in this list to have just one list.
Yeah, we can look and say, and then you apply the list.
Well, sleeping is there. It's going to work, but it's kind of a long process.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it takes longer time to operate.
yes, but it's definitely going to work. All right. Next, we want to look at now is pop,
Okay.
the pop method. So just like
up.
the pop method, so just like the if you remember the append method that just adds item to the end of the list, right?
Mhm.
The pop removes the item at the end of the list. So if I come here and say
Auto side to the end of the list.
fruits.pop,
The pop.
Same worker.
yeah,
I think it does. Yeah, remove the orange.
so it
Yeah,
removes the orange here.
that's all it does. Whatever is the
That's
end.
it just
So
removes it.
so
Just
I can
removes it.
imagine not having any argument.
No, no argument. This is no argument.
Okay.
It has an argument, but that is the next thing I want to look at. But for this, all it does is just to remove.
The end value.
Yes. Then this is another way of defining pop, but this time it's an argument.
Return is only used inside a function, right?
Yes.
Okay. And pass and return use only inside function. Or you can use pass in if statement.
Can use yes, can use passive if statement.
Yeah.
Can use passive if statement. Can use passive anywhere. Fruits. Well, I. So I want to remove the. I want to pop out the second item. That is cherry. 1012. I want to move cherry from this list. So I just highlighted the. Remember the difference. The remove. You have to point to the item itself. The pop. You're not pointing to the index. The remove the item pop index.
And that
Oh, so you can use pop too. This is
Yes,
this would okay. If you don't specify, it takes the hand value.
yes,
Hmm? Very,
yes,
very. But if you say
yes.
fruits dot pop two, it will remove number two.
Oh,
Which
Correct?
is
one
cherry.
more one.
Yes, which is cherry. So
Okay.
if I run this, you see, cherry is gone from this list now.
There is gone.
Because it's at the index two.
Yes.
You see, zero one two. We choose one. Now we have no
So is that
banana.
clear?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The next we'll look at
There's two
is
bananas.
So how come remove is only deal with an item itself? It doesn't use the index.
that's how
That's the
the
way they define the class in the
yes,
method.
yes, exactly. If you hover around it, you hover around it, you come to the remove. No,
What top there?
see,
Banana.
just the value.
Okay.
Remove first
And
the
its
value.
strength. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah,
This
you can't
this
do anything about that. You
actually
can put
this
none. You will just take the last one, I guess. No, you have to put something. If you don't put the argument, the parameter is going to complain.
yes, exactly.
You have to take it to it by item, not in.
Mm-hmm. Or pop, you can do both index. Everything.
Not sure like content. And it's go there to us.
So next is the clear function, clear method,
What? Maybe there's this.
right? Are you still
Yeah.
with me?
And with you.
So basically, this just clears all the list.
Okay.
It just
So
clears
to
all.
it return into empty, it returns empty string, correct?
Exactly. Just gives you an empty list.
Okay. Clears everything.
Fruit dot clear.
Everything in the list and return empty
Empty.
list.
Basically, empty list you can.
So fruits dot clear.
So see it here. The old food list and the new food list.
Yeah, that would be a good use a useful method. For example, if you want to keep on reusing a list over and over and over again, right? Then you can just introduce clear like in a loop, right? After you
Yeah.
finish something, you can clean it and do another
Oh yeah,
operation.
yeah. It's possible. It's possible.
Another operation we can run it again.
So that's clear enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next thing we're looking at is the next method. There is index method.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this just returns the index of the item. There's nothing there.
Okay.
It just gives you the index. So let's say you don't know the index of.
Banana.
Index, which
I
is
don't.
the
I don't know the.
Okay. Let's say you have, right? Let's say you're asking users to pick, to enter their shopping list, for example, right?
Yeah.
You're asking them for their shopping list, and you don't know where they're going to put banana. They might put the banana first, they might put banana last. Then you can use that method to identify the index of certain item they might put in their shopping list. Is that a good use case?
But can you come again, please?
Say, for example, I am building an app, right? That asks people to enter their own shopping list. And then I want to process each of the item, and I want to identify which item is at which position in their list. It's going to be changing based on each user's entry, right?
Yes. Yes.
So the order
Yes.
is always going to be different, but I want to always know the position of banana in that shopping list, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
can always I can use that kind of method in that situation,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah. So if I come here now and try to run this,
Mm.
nope.
So
I have
you need a
I have
parameter.
yes, which is let's see, mango. So the say mango is at three. Zero, one,
Mm.
two, three. Correct. That's basically it. The count function, what does it do? It just counts the items in the list.
Okay.
For example, remember this example where we had two banana.
Mm-hmm.
So you just count how many banana is in that list. So if
Okay.
I come here and say count
So
green,
it must have a parameter. If you don't have a
yes,
parameter in it, it's going to.
because it's counting the number of items. So you have to tell it what item it has to count. So in this case, I
Okay.
want you to count my banana.
Okay.
You get so I have to give the
Mhm.
item it has to count. Otherwise, it's not counting anything.
Okay.
So if we run this, count how many items appears. Why is it? Oh, okay. Run again. What's going on? Oh,
There's no bracket close.
yes. Run again. See, two bananas.
Two banana. Okay. Old fruit. Where's the old? It's on top there. Old fruit. Print old fruit list.
Sorry, from this. Sorry, we don't need this anymore.
Yeah, but I wanted to understand that. Why is it giving three? Oh, mango is at index of three. Okay. Okay. So the argument for count is always string.
Yes. No, it's if it depends on the data that you are trying to count.
What
If
I
I'm
mean is,
counting,
oh, okay, okay, it can be number too. Well, it just
yes,
it has to be an item.
yes,
It should be a value. Okay, so um,
Um,
it's possible for me to now combine method here, right? Like say fruit dot count. Then in that bracket, instead of banana, I can have fruit dot um index anything that is always at position two, right? No,
yeah.
wait. Yeah. Can I not do that?
You can.
Like at position one, for example, which is banana in this case. So every time they enter and they say, I want to count whatever item that is at second position in that list, I don't know what it's going to be. And I can always use that. I think
Yeah.
so, right? It should be possible. I'm,
Shoot,
I'm
shoot.
just, I'm just like, as I'm just looking at the use cases.
Yeah, yeah. Well, most times, I think what you use mostly is this sort function, this sort method. I want to go. This sort method,
Okay, you sort it. Okay, you sort it first.
sort append method, um, pop method,
Oh, yeah. You're
right?
hungry.
So
You make food for yourself.
let's try to sort this. Now, if you try to run this now, if you just sort it alphabetically, I'm still here. I'm trying to disorganize them so it's not arranged because it looks like it's arranged before. So if we do the sorting method, A should come first, then B, then C. Understood? Are you still with me? Are you still with me? Hello.
I'm with you. So is always in ascending order?
Yes.
So how do you get it independent? Is there a function like that?
That's this last function, reverse.
Oh, I see.
Reverse.
What? The last function?
Reverse. Like
Oh,
instead of 1, 2, 3 to 10, then you do 10, 9, 8.
does it change the index?
So can we
Mm,
continue?
yeah, I think. Yes, we can. Mm, yeah.
So look at the old fruit list now. Banana, apple, mango, banana, cherry, banana, orange, right? Look at the
Mm.
new list now that's now sorted now.
Oh,
Apple comes
apple,
first,
banana,
banana,
banana, banana, cherry,
cherry.
mango, orange. Okay, so it sorted it alphabetically. A first, B, C, then M. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you do. Wait, who did it on the computer? It says compute.
So it's clear, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so basically, reverse does the
Now
opposite.
you can clear the
Reverse,
one
reverse
to
does reverse does the opposite. It just turns it
can you
upside
really
down. So it starts from
So,
orange. It
mm,
starts from
okay.
orange back to banana. That's just it.
Yeah. Okay. So sorted, sort, reverse. Is there any function that is like sorted, or is just you can give it a name like sorted? Yeah, I think I will do. I'll play what I'm thinking. Yes, no.
Okay. So are we good to go with this because we are done with the list?
Okay.
We are done with
Yeah.
lists.
We can just do a revision. So I'll do
Let's
an
do.
example of how you use it.
Okay. Okay. So
So like let's find a use case that we can use several of these methods together, maybe in a function or something. Like okay, so we can use slicing to pick certain part of the list, and then we can use the methods to do something with it.
yes.
sort the list before um you move something out of it, before you
Mm,
pick something, right?
yes, but you don't always, if you want to, but you don't always have to do it. Depending on how your data came in, right? So if you have a student database and you want the first person to be, you understand,
Be
the data
wherever
should
it's
be,
alphabetical.
no, you want the data to be entered the way they registered. So
Okay.
you have two ways. So it's either you want the data to be entered the way. So number one that enter should be on number one, second person number two, regardless of how the
Oh,
person their names. Then you have
okay.
another option to arrange their names alphabetically. So there are two options, right? So there are different. So it depends on how your use case. In most cases, you want to arrange them alphabetically.
So that doesn't
So in
use.
that case, you have to sort first.
Okay.
So that is basically it for now.
Yeah.
We can round up for now, then continue.
So reverse. So reverse. We've done sort. We've done sort. Um, sort in ascending order, and then
Don't
fruit
reverse.
dot sort. Does sort have any params?
It's supposed to actually.
Okay. Sort.
So so there's a way exactly. So there's a way to reverse
Mm-hmm.
without using the reverse function.
Okay.
So I can come here and say reverse true or false, and I say true. So I'm not using, I'm basically using this in place of this.
Reverse is equal to true.
Yes. But
Oh,
if I
if you
don't
say it's false, then it's descending. Oh, so
exactly,
that's a way. But why do you have to use keyword argument there? Oh,
it's, if you check here, this
mm.
always try to use this right to
Oh, they
understand.
said, okay. So basically, sort and reverse, they are the same thing, more or less. They just
Sort,
said they sort they said sort reverse to be false.
yes, exactly.
Okay, I get you now. Okay.
I think I would say
Hmm?
exactly so.
So far so good.
This is
And
fun.
okay,
I think the one I enjoy most is the Lambda function. I'm still trying to understand it better. So once we finish now, I want to have some examples to try.
it's fine. You can use ChatGPT. It will explain it for you better.
Yeah, because I want it to stick in my head. I think they use it a lot in data science because it's a quick way to kind of like introduce a function when you're defining a variable or grabbing some data and then you want to process them right there as you are putting them in in a container, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't have time to attend those classes, but I'm still on the program. Mm.
Oh, the old school program.
Yeah, I'm still
Okay.
there. But I think all school quality has gone down.
Really?
I feel like that, to be honest.
It doesn't. It's
They
not.
they can you imagine we wrote exam
Mm-hmm.
and then when they're going to give us our results, they said I got one in exam. I got so my GPA is zero.
One over one.
One
100.
over
What?
how is that possible? even even if you even okay. So I thought initially I thought it was only me. Then I sent my Python script to the tutor and I say, you review that and then tell me what the rubrics you use to mark it and tell me how I arrive at one. So he now say I should reach out to they have like a committee or whatever. So
Mm.
those people are now, they now address us saying there was an error in their own. Can you imagine? You that you are teaching us how to code,
There's an
you
error in your
can't you can't run a proper backend system that can do a simple student score aggregation and computation and rendering UI. I mean, so I
you know
think their
you,
quality has gone down since
you know
Jerry left.
right, and they have not even given results to some persons.
I have to fight. I've been asked. I asked for almost 1 year before they finally sent me an electronic certificate or something.
You see, they haven't given results to some
Those
persons.
I had to be yelling at. I was disturbing. What's her name? Tabitha. I was disturbing Deji. I think Deji has left too. So the quality ever since Jerry left, the quality went down. They have some ladies, director of this, director of that, and I don't think those one know what they are doing that much. So anyway, that's just a side chat. So how are we going to increase this momentum? But I think we are getting closer and closer.
Mm.
I think today was good.
Today was better
I,
actually. It was good.
yeah, we kind of cover a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done functions, we've done we've done
Lists.
lambda function lists, we've done so dictionary is what I get confused so much. I don't know why.
No, we're coming to that.
I always confuse myself, maybe. But it's cool now. So let me just do some practice today and
Okay.
then we'll pick it up Thursday. Oh,
Yeah.
I have a problem. This
Okay.
Thursday, because I have to get a treatment from the doctors, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they can't I supposed to get treatment on Thursday, but they cancel it, so they postpone it to Monday. So which means I have to switch my work from home day to Monday. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, so because of that, this Monday. Okay, let's focus on our Thursday. Yeah, I
Okay.
come back from work at 4:30 anyway, so I should be. So let's try and make this Thursday work. I suspect you last Thursday you slept off.
I did actually.
I was waiting. So maybe what you should do is that when you're feeling tired, you can just check on me like, are you available
Okay,
now?
if you're available, okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Ah, that is good.
So because I come home like I mean I can on Thursday I can actually do I can do earlier in the day, but you might not have been home then.
What
Because
time is that? What time
wait,
is that?
2 p.m. my time on Thursday is, let me see, plus 7. That will be 7 p.m. your time by
I
2
can
p.m.
be I can be free.
Yeah, so let's try that.
I can be free.
Let's try that this week.
Okay.
Because I think it's because you are sleeping off. That's it. It's a lot of sacrifice to stay awake.
I can be free by that time. I'll try to be free. From 8 downwards, I'm free.
8 downward. Okay, so that will be 3. And we
Yeah.
can try that. Let's try that.
Okay.
So
All right
the
then.
reason why I want to do that too, the reason why I was thinking about too is that kids come back home 4. So if I do what I want to do within from two
Before
to
they
four,
come back.
but yeah, but whatever works. So just check on me and say, hey, are you available now? Let's do it. Boom. Yeah.
Okay. All right then.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, sir. No problem.
Yeah, have a good
Thank
one.
you. Yeah.